Hey there, boys and girls. Long time no see. What we got here today? We got the wife's motorcycle. It's a '99 Yamaha V-Star 650 Classic. It's been sitting for a while because she's been a little busy and hasn't been able to ride. And I went to go ride it the other day and the battery was bad. So that got replaced, but we got another problem, which is typical for bikes, especially if they got carburetors. Let's see. Hang on. Old man getting down. Here's the carburetors. One each, 2-cylinder. You turn on the choke and you go to start it, and it'll start. And it'll run. But no matter, even if you let it run 5 minutes and warm totally up and push the choke in, it just stalls. It'll only keep going if you keep giving it gas. And that is a sure sign of a plugged pilot jet, also known as an idle jet or slow speed jet. Depends on what term you use, what country, and what place you come from. They're all the same thing. It's a piece of a brass tube. It's inside the carburetor. It draws gas in on the idle speed. It's got a very, very, very small hole drilled through a little brass tube. And if you let them sit for a while, the gas can gum up because carburetors have vents to them. Air and humidity can get in there. It'll actually dry out the volatile stuff in the gas and just leave varnish or gum or sticky stuff behind, and it plugs up those little tiny holes real easy. And what's going on is, since that's plugged, and the reason it'll keep running with the choke on, it's only drawing on the main jet, which is bigger, so it's drawing more gas. And it needs more air to mix with more gas. Only makes sense. And as soon as you shut the choke off and actually, excuse me, it's the other way around. I'm sorry, I apologize. Less air when it's cold. When it's cold, it needs more fuel. But you push the choke in, you open the butterfly up, it lets more air in, and the mixture leans out, and that's why it stalls. Anyway, what we need to do is get this tank loose and prop it up a little bit, and take those 4 screws off of that cover. There's 2 down there, 2 up top, and get inside. That's a bowl cover right here. There's a drain. But we need to get inside there, and that tube will be sticking straight out, and just need to get a screwdriver at the end of it, take it out of there, wash it, gasoline, carb cleaner, whatever you got to do. Clean it up, shoot some carb cleaner through the carb, make sure it's not passages in it aren't blocked, and get it back together, and hopefully that'll fix it. So we're going to get on that. Looks like you got 2 bolts back here, one on the other side. Shouldn't need to do more than that. Just prop it back into this tank up so I can access these top bolts. I only need about 1 inch. No need to take it all apart, otherwise you got to take the back seat off and this seat off and that off, and oh boy. Which is why I'm doing it for the wife, because hey, I want to save her a headache. She deserves to go riding without having to do all kinds of freaking work on it. So we'll get on it. We'll come back to it. I'll show you what I got. Well, as they say, best laid plans of mice and men. Not so great. Got 2 bolts that hold on the tank back here. Couldn't get it up with the seat in place, so you got to take the back seat off first, which is down there. Just 1 nut holding it here, and then 2 clips. You see that there. And then the front seat, same deal. 1 clip goes under here, bolt goes here. There's the bolt. And of course, you can't get the tank off with the speedo in place, so you gotta take the speedo off. And that's got 3 Allen bolts right there. Disconnect the speedometer cable, 2 electrical connectors. All this has to go through a hole in the tank before I get the tank off. Lovely. Proceeding. And there we go. One gas tank off. Right there. Amazing how easy it comes off once you get that stuff disconnected. There's two round things here with rubber on them. They go in little sort of bracket stoppers here on the tank. As you can see, you have to draw the tank back to get it off. You can't lift it straight up. So, there we go. Tank's out of the way. Better access to the carbs. Now we'll get to them. Okay, as you can see, much better access to these carburetor bowls. This one in the front's got a little bracket that goes here. Don't forget to put that back on when you're done. And we're going to take a little break here because we have a public service announcement from your friendly neighborhood 13th Sword concerning bowl bolts, screws, whatever you want to call them. Last time this bike did sit for a while and we had the same problem, which is why I know that jet's plugged, because we've experienced it before. And trying to get these bowls off was just an absolute pain in the you-know-what. And in the process, as is normal, we boogered up the old bolts that were holding this in. They didn't have slots in them to put a screwdriver in or anything. So we had to go and replace them. Now remember, this is a Yamaha. Okay? So everything on here is going to be metric. That includes the thread pitch. If you have the same problem, if you booger up the bolts and you can't get them back in or whatever, and you want to replace them with something else, which is what we did. We went and got stainless steel, which shouldn't corrode. You just take it to your local neighborhood store, tell them you need metric, bring one of your old bolts with you or more. Make sure you take it with you. They can match up the thread, the length, the head size, whatever. What we ended up with here, I forget the thread on this, but I think it's like 1.5 thread pitch metric. 1.5 threads per, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. But the head size on this is 7mm, and you're going to need like a 7mm socket, which isn't common for a lot of people to have. But, boom, there you go. You just stick that on your 1/4-inch driver. Take these right off. Makes it easier in the future, because these, like I said, this is a common problem on bikes. If they sit for any amount of time, and especially if you're running gas with alcohol in it, you're going to have this problem. So that's my suggestion. Make sure you get the threads all nice and cleaned out. Spray them with carb cleaner. Spray the socket where the threads go into with carb cleaner. Get all the gunk out of it. Maybe swirl a little steel wool in there, just to make sure that any junk or corrosion's out of it. And good to go. So we're going to get these off. Let's see what we got going on in here. I suspect this is the bad one. Why is that, you ask? Well, interesting story. When we had it running with the choke on, I've put my hand over the tailpipes. Now, you can't see it from this side, but on the other side, each of these cylinders has its own exhaust pipe. And as you can see, one carburetor feeds one cylinder each. They're not combined. So I put my hand over the end of the exhaust pipe, and the one on the bottom was puffing pretty good. The other one, it would puff my hand out but then suck it back in. That's not supposed to happen. That shows you got some kind of a vacuum or air problem. That plugged pilot jet would do that. The pipe that was doing that is connected to this back cylinder. As you see, the back cylinder is connected to this carburetor, so it's probably that one. Just an easy way to nail it down. This is a down dirty, easy, simple. I'm not taking these off and soaking them and doing all kinds of crazy stuff here. I just want to get those jets opened up so it runs. That's it. No, this is not a complete job. Complete job's going to take a lot longer. It's not that hard. It just takes a while. There's a lot of little steps involved, simple steps. It's a simple job. It's just involved as far as time goes. Okay? Oh, there's a fuel filter, by the way. That's not good. Hanger's broke. Beautiful. Something else to fix. I'll epoxy that up. But we're going to go ahead and get that off of there. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so we got all the bolts out. Bolt cover sits on like that. Comes straight off like that. Check the inside of your bolt cover. Okay, we got a little bit of discoloration going on here. A little bit of dirt. Could use a little cleaning, but this isn't bad. The drain screw's stuck, of course. There's your floats. Okay, and here are your jets. That's your main jet. That's your pilot jet. These have to come out. And they have a little slot in the bottom, usually, so you can put a screwdriver on it. So we'll get that out next. Alright, so first off, my apologies, I was not correct. This is the main jet, which I've already taken off. This is not the pilot jet. The pilot jet sits up over here. And here's that. Okay? Here's the main. You can see it's got a screwdriver slot there and a little nut kind of thing. That's 8mm. Let's see if you can see something with this. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you can see through this one. That's open. Okay, this is drilled straight through, as you can see. And you have a look at this, and I don't see any light through it at all. So there's your culprit right there. Now, what I usually do, if you give me a second. Sorry, folks, takes me a while to get up nowadays. It really sucks getting old. Getting arthritis and things. Here we go. Let's see if you can see this. I have a couple of steel bristle brushes here. Okay. And I just bend out one of the little pieces of steel and run that through the hole. See if that clears it out. This is tiny work. Now there's some people who will tell you, well, don't put steel in there, oh, you mess it up. Well, just as long as you're careful, it's fine. And that's still blocked, so that's going to need a soaking. Also, if you look at the end here, you see some little holes, little emulsion holes. Those need to be open as well. Those appear to be. It's just the passage straight through it that's blocked. So we'll get to work on this next. Okay, folks, here we go. Here's your best friend, carb cleaner. Okay, there it is. The straw in there. Put your fingers over the edges of these slots, otherwise it's going to blow back on you. It might get in your eyes. Wear safety glasses or something. Okay, I've already blasted this once, but I want to show you what it looks like when it's clear. See a nice stream coming out the end? Yeah, but if you happen to have it, compressed air, be careful. You don't keep a grip on this. This air could just blow this thing out of your hand, get lost in the yard, you're done. You won't be riding the bike anytime soon. Crash guard. I blow it out in both directions just to make sure it's clear. I'll take it out here in the light, see what we can see. I'll get as close as I can. Hard to see for me, but where's my son? I'm looking through it. I see light. I don't know what y'all can see. There we go. Let's see what we can do. I see light through it, so it's open. It was totally blocked. It was black. So there's one done. Run some carb cleaner up through the holes in the carburetor just to make sure they're not plugged up, and then put everything back together and go on to the next one. And there we go. Jet's back in. When you're screwing these back in, just put them in just a little firm. Don't overdo it. These are brass. You'll strip them right out. Okay? Get my bowl cover back on, and I'll move on to this next one. Yep, blocked both of them. Okay, well that's all back together. So just gonna get the tank back on here, hook the fuel line back up, hook up the speedo. I'm not gonna put the seats back on right away because I want to test it first and see what's going on. Okay, let's see what we got. Key on. Fuel pump. Cycle it once again. Choke on. Start. Turn choke off. Okay. That's interesting. See if we got any leaks. Oh, you know what? I didn't turn the gas back on. Hang on. Yeah, that wasn't making much sense to me. That's the long tab. I actually had it off. That's reserve. That's gas on. So, wasn't really pumping anything except what was left in the line. That makes sense. Let's give it another shot. Okay, key on. Choke out. Starter. The idle adjust. smells a lot cleaner. Sounds good, huh? About there. As long as it settles back good, I'm fine with it. Baby's all fixed. All good. So there you go. See, that's all there is to it. It's just those two little pieces blocked up. Yeah, so there you go. I'm going to get the seats back on. Not going to go show you that because there's really nothing to it at all. See the tab here in the seat? That goes in here. There's the metal tab back there. There's a bolt goes through there. And same with the back seat. Tabs, hole, bolt. That's it. That's how you get the seats off. You can take these screws out too. These are Allen head. This slides straight up, but I'm not sure this is factory. But those two seats are factory. So there you go. That's how you get everything apart. That's how you clean out the carburetors pretty quick, down and dirty, without removing them, without rebuilding them. Don't need to go through all that if you don't want to. And as you can hear, running fine. Perfect. So now I just got to get her cleaned up a little bit. Going to bleed the brake lines out a little bit. Oops, turn the key off. There we go, key is off. Just going to bleed the brake lines out and get some fresh fluid in there for her. Make sure she's got brakes, because brakes are important. But there you go. Hope it helps somebody looking around. The Yamaha V-Star 97 through 2008, blah, blah, about 650s, 900s, 1000, 1100, 1200, whatever. It's all the same. Just the engine's different. It's pretty much the same setup all the way around. The tank and seat setup comes off exactly the same. If you just look around, you can figure this out. It's not hard to do. I know you can do it. I believe in you. So there you go. Hope it's some help. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you to all my subscribers for subscribing. Y'all are the best. You're the bomb. Gaming coming soon. Keep your eyes open. PUBG, here I come. If you don't know what that means, go to the Google. Okay. See y'all later. Thanks for stopping by.